with a heart so bold. Tapping on keys like they made up your soul. Building dreams out of digits, making websites roll. Oh, Austin code monkey, working all night. SEO wizard making rankings take flight. From the Texas heat to the neon glow, you're the constant king of the SEO show.
Imagine you're walking down like a really bustling city street on a Friday night, and you're trying to figure out where to eat. Up ahead, there are two restaurants.
Oh, I think I know where this is going.
Yeah, so outside the first one, there's a guy with a megaphone actively shouting at you, handing out these bright neon coupons, aggressively waving you toward the door. It is literally impossible to miss him.
Right.
But then outside the second one, it's totally quiet. Nobody is handing out flyers. But there is a massive line of locals wrapped around the block, just happily waiting to get a table.
And your brain instantly processes those two scenarios with, completely different levels of trust. I mean, you might take the coupon from the megaphone guy because it's convenient, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But you intrinsically assume the restaurant with the line has food simply because all those people independently decided, that it was worth the wait.
Yes. And that psychological dynamic, that exact tension between buying someone's attention loudly versus earning their trust quietly, is exactly what we are exploring with you today. Welcome to the deep dive.
Glad to be here for this one.
Our mission today is to cut through the absolute mountain of digital marketing noise. We're going to answer a fundamental business question. Like, should you invest in building slow and steady organic traffic, or should you just open your wallet and pay for instant visibility?
Which is a tough choice because the landscape for making that decision has shifted dramatically. I mean, almost unrecognizably in just the last couple of years.
Totally. So to help you figure this out, we are relying on a fantastic single source today. It's the SEO versus PPC agencies, complete 2026 comparison guide.
Really great document.
Yeah, it was published by Austin Code Monkey, which is an SEO and AI search optimization company based out of Austin, Texas. We're taking their breakdown to give you a shortcut to understanding the mechanics, the real costs, and the strategic differences between search engine optimization, which is your SEO, and pay-per-click advertising, your PPC.
Because the reality is, artificial intelligence is actively rewriting the rules of both of those ecosystems in 2026.
Okay, let's unpack this. Before we can talk strategy, we really have to establish the basic mechanics of how these two distinct approaches actually work under the hood.
Yeah, reading through the guide, the fundamental logic of these two ecosystems, it really couldn't be more different. One is an asset you own, and the other is a utility you rent.
I kept thinking of it like real estate. I mean, SEO is essentially like buying a house, right? You put in the initial labor, you maintain the foundation, you upgrade the kitchen.
Right, and over time, you are slowly building permanent equity.
Exactly. It takes incredible patience, but eventually you own a highly valuable asset outright. PPC, on the other hand, is like staying in a luxury hotel.
Oh, that's a good way to put it.
You swipe your credit card and you get the premium amenities instantly. The room service, the rooftop pool, the top floor view. But the absolute second you stop paying that daily rate, your key card is deactivated and you are out on the street.
Literally out on the street. Let's look at the house first, SEO. Search engine optimization is entirely about earning your way into the unpaid organic search results.
You aren't paying Google a dime for those clicks.
Exactly. But to earn that real estate, you have to build out several layers of trust. The most visible layer is your on-page optimization. This is the actual content you present to the world. It's about ensuring your website speaks the exact same language as the person typing a query into a search bar.
The guide uses a really great local example here. An Austin restaurant wanting to capture the weekend crowd wouldn't just build a generic homepage that says, "Come eat our food."
Right. Nobody searches for that.
Exactly. They would create a specific dedicated page targeting the phrase, best brunch in East Austin. They'd include high-quality photos, readable menus, and text that naturally answers the questions a brunch goer actually has.
But it's not just what the human sees, it's the behind-the-scenes text too.
Right, like the title tags and meta descriptions.
Yeah, you are signaling to the search engine exactly what value you provide. But perfect content is totally useless if the search engine algorithm has a terrible time navigating your site. Which brings us to the underlying plumbing, or the technical foundation.
Which Google cares a lot about.
Oh, deeply. Search engines are fiercely protective of their own user experience. If Google sends a searcher to a website and that site takes like 10 seconds to load, the user blames Google for a bad result.
So the search engine just penalizes you to protect its own reputation. The guide mentions a 3-second rule, actually. If a page hangs for more than 3 seconds, the majority of users will just hit the back button.
And it goes way beyond speed. Technical SEO means flawless mobile responsiveness and clean code. The search engine's crawling bots need to be able to map your site without hitting dead ends or broken links.
Which sounds incredibly technical.
It is, and if you fix the plumbing and perfect the content, you still have to prove to the algorithm where you actually exist in the physical world. That is your local SEO.
Which relies heavily on geographic intent, right? Like when someone searches dentist near me or emergency plumber, the search engine has to verify your actual proximity.
Right. This is how you get into the map pack. You know, those 3 highly visible businesses, Google highlights right alongside a map at the top of local searches.
Yeah, I use that all the time.
We all do. Getting into that map pack requires rigid consistency. You have to claim your Google business profile and ensure total uniformity with your NAP, which is your name, address, and phone number across the entire internet.
The algorithm looks for consensus, essentially.
Exactly. If your website lists you on South Congress Avenue, but the local Chamber of Commerce directory has you on S Congress Ave, that tiny inconsistency creates doubt for the algorithm. And doubt means you don't rank.
Wow, just from an abbreviation. So that is the grueling work of building the house, the content, the plumbing, and the local validation.
Yeah.
Now let's look at swiping the credit card at the luxury hotel, pay-per-click. This is buying traffic, and your placement comes with that little sponsored label.
The most common format here is search ads. You are literally entering an auction for specific keywords. The guide points to an HVAC company in Austin bidding on the phrase AC Repair Austin.
Which is brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, if it is mid-July in Texas, someone typing that phrase has incredibly high intent, their AC is broken, and they need it fixed today, they are going to click the first thing they see.
But the auction isn't just about who throws the most cash at the screen, is it? I mean, the guide says it's a merit-based auction.
Yeah, Google uses a metric called quality score. Your ad position is actually determined by your bid amount multiplied by your quality score. Google evaluates how relevant your ad and your landing page are to the searcher's specific query.
So they track if people actually click your ad when they see it.
Yep. Does your landing page quickly solve their problem, or do they bounce immediately? If your quality score is exceptionally high, you can actually secure the top spot while paying less per click than a competitor who has a higher bid, but, a terrible, irrelevant website.
Because Google is still protecting its user experience, even when it's taking your money.
Exactly. And search ads are just the people actively looking for you. The guide also dives into display and remarketing ads, which are entirely different mechanisms.
Right, these are the banner ads that essentially follow you across the web.
Right. Remarketing relies on tracking pixels to monitor behavior. Let's say someone visits an Austin bakery's website, spends 5 minutes looking at custom wedding cakes, but leaves without filling out a, quote, request.
Happens all the time.
Yeah. So remarketing allows the bakery to target that specific person. A few days later, while that person is reading a local news blog or checking the weather, a banner ad for that exact bakery's wedding cakes appears. It is a digital nudge designed to bring a warm lead back into the funnel.
And finally, there are local service ads. This is Google's specialized format for service businesses like plumbers or electricians. You get a Google guaranteed badge at the very top of the page.
Which is huge for trust.
It is. And the massive distinction here is that you don't pay when someone clicks your ad just to browse your site. You only pay when that click generates a verified lead like an actual phone call or direct message.
What's fascinating here is the stark psychological divide between these two approaches. The guide points out that consumers inherently treat organic SEO results as more credible because they recognize the effort required to get there.
Yeah, there is definitely a built-in skepticism toward the sponsored label.
Totally. Many users intentionally train their eyes to skip the ads and click the first organic result. That inherent trust is the dividend you earn from the slow, difficult work of optimizing your site.
Which brings us to the elephant in the room. I mean, if organic SEO builds ultimate trust, but requires perfect content, flawless technical code, and rigid local map integration, that labor cannot be cheap.
It is not.
Let's talk about the economics and the clock. I have to push back on the premise of patience here. If PPC can get you to the absolute top of Google in a matter of hours, and your phone starts ringing today, why on earth would any business owners subject themselves to the grueling 3 to 6 month waiting period of SEO?
It's a fair question.
Like, Why wait half a year to see a single dollar of return on your investment?
Because of the underlying math of long-term margins. Let's break down the cost structures outlined in the guide. SEO is typically structured as a fixed fee monthly retainer.
Okay.
Depending on how aggressive the campaign is and the competitiveness of the market, this usually ranges from, say, $1,500 to upwards of $10,000 a month. But crucially, that retainer is an investment in labor.
So you're paying an agency or an in-house team to write the content, fix the code, and build the local signals.
Exactly. You are never paying for the actual clicks.
Right. So once the page ranks organically, the marginal cost of the next visitor is literally zero. Whether you get 100 clicks or 10,000 clicks that month, your cost remains exactly the same.
Compare that to PPC. Agencies managing your paid ads typically charge a management fee, usually 15 to 25% of your total ad spend, just to monitor the auction and run the campaigns.
Wow.
But on top of that, you have to pay the search engine for every single click. And those click costs are dictated by market demand, which means they vary wildly.
The guide had a really stark contrast on this point. An Austin law firm might have to pay $100 per click for a highly competitive, lucrative term like personal injury lawyer.
Just for one person to click the link.
Yeah. Whereas a local coffee shop might only pay $2 per click for the phrase Coffee Shop South Congress.
This is where key performance indicators, or KPIs, become a matter of survival. You have to understand your conversion rates. If you are a personal injury lawyer paying $100 a click and your website converts 10% of visitors into leads, it takes 10 clicks to get one phone call.
So your cost per lead is $1,000.
Yes.
That sounds astronomical until you consider the value of the client. I mean, if an average personal injury case brings in $10,000 or $50,000 in revenue, spending $1,000 to acquire that case is a phenomenal business model.
Yeah.
The math completely works.
But if your customer lifetime value is only $200 and you're spending $1,000 to acquire them, the economics fail instantly. You will bankrupt a business.
Yeah.
The strategy comes down to budget constraints and timeline needs. If you have a limited marketing budget, say $1,500 a month, putting that into an SEO retainer builds a permanent digital asset over time.
Because putting that same $1,500 into PPC in a fiercely competitive market might only buy you 15 clicks for the entire month. It evaporates instantly.
Exactly. Though the guide does warn that in hyper-competitive niches like emergency plumbing or personal injury law, breaking through with SEO might take a full 12 months of consistent investment before you see a real return. It is a true test of endurance.
Conversely, you deploy PPC when you need immediate cash flow.
Yes, the guide's example of a newly launched HVAC company in the dead of summer is perfect. They cannot wait 6 months for a blog post to rank. They have technicians on the payroll who need to be dispatched today.
So PPC gets the phone ringing immediately.
Exactly. It is also the perfect tool for time-sensitive promotions, like a 2-week holiday retail sale where long-term rankings are completely irrelevant.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. Everything we just discussed about working the house versus renting the hotel, that is the traditional playbook. But the guide highlights that the reality in 2026 is actively dismantling that playbook.
Yeah, it's wild.
Artificial intelligence is fundamentally changing how search engines operate.
It really is. It is forcing an evolution in the mechanics of both SEO and PPC. On the organic side, the guide details the shift from SEO to AEO, which is answer engine optimization.
What does that actually look like for the user? Because I'm noticing this in my own habits. I don't really scroll through links as much anymore.
Exactly. Search engines, powered by tools like Gemini, Perplexity, and Claude, are increasingly intercepting the user's query and just synthesizing the answer directly at the top of the results page.
Right.
They read the websites for the user, summarize the information, and present it immediately. The user gets their answer without ever clicking a link.
Wait, if the AI is answering the question directly on the search page, my website traffic goes to zero. Why would I ever pay an agency thousands of dollars for an SEO retainer if the search engine is essentially stealing my content to keep users on its own platform?
It's a huge concern for businesses.
Doesn't my digital house just become a ghost town?
It requires a massive paradigm shift in how you view optimization. The AI still needs authoritative sources to generate those answers. Becoming the cited source is the new SEO.
So you can no longer just stuff a page with broad keywords.
Right. You have to optimize specifically to be the data point the AI pulls from. The guide emphasizes that Austin CodeMonkey focuses heavily on structured data and entity-based optimization.
Okay, let's break that down because entity-based optimization sounds like pure jargon. How does that actually work mechanically?
Think of traditional SEO as writing a really compelling book, hoping the librarian librarian recommends it. Entity-based optimization and structured data are like putting hidden, standardized sticky notes on every single fact inside that book.
Okay, I like that visual.
The AI doesn't read your website like a human. It scans your underlying code. Structured data allows you to explicitly label the elements of your business in the code. You tag a string of text to say, this is our operating hours, or this is our price range, or this is a customer review.
Oh, wow. So you're basically formatting your website into a neatly organized spreadsheet for the AI to instantly comprehend. You remove all the guesswork.
Exactly.
So when a user asks an AI, what is an affordable brunch spot in East Austin open on Sundays? The AI doesn't have to read your paragraphs to figure it out. It just grabs the data from your sticky notes and serves you up as the answer.
You are training the algorithm to trust you as an entity, not just ranking a page for a keyword. And AI is transforming the paid side just as aggressively. Google's machine learning has widely introduced automated systems like smart bidding.
Meaning the days of a human sitting at a desk, manually adjusting bids by a few cents to find the perfect auction price. Those are over.
Oh, long over. The algorithms process millions of data points, a user's location, device, time of day, past browsing history, to predict the exact probability of a conversion in real time, and they adjust the bid automatically. A human cannot compete with that processing speed.
No way.
This raises an important question. If AI is automatically synthesizing the organic answers, and machine learning algorithms are automatically managing the paid auction bids, what exactly is the value of hiring a marketing agency in 2026?
Yeah, that is the turning point of the entire guide. The value has completely moved away from manual, repetitive task execution. You are no longer paying an agency to push buttons.
Right.
You are paying for high-level integrated strategy. The guide proposes that the ultimate play isn't picking SEO or PPC. The strategy is combining them into a single, cohesive intelligence gathering operation.
They are highly complementary when managed together. The guide calls this data sharing.
I see it like a military operation, actually. PPC is your reconnaissance drone. You fly it over the market to quickly gather intel. Because you get instant data, you find out within days exactly which keywords actually convert into paying customers.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah. And once you have that map of profitable territory, you send in the heavy infantry, your SEO, to slowly march in and build a permanent base on that exact spot.
That absolutely eliminates the inherent risk of SEO. Let's go back to the plumber. You might assume people search for fix broken pipes.
Sure.
So you spend 6 months building organic SEO for that phrase, only to discover it brings in traffic, but no one actually hires you. They just want DIY advice to fix it themselves.
No, that would be brutal.
Right. But with the reconnaissance drone approach, you run PPC ads for dozens of terms. Within 2 weeks, the hard data proves that the specific phrase, emergency plumber South Austin, has an incredibly high conversion rate. People searching that exact phrase almost always book a job.
So you now take that exact proven phrase and instruct your SEO team to build dedicated long-term content around it.
Precisely.
Because you know for an absolute fact the ROI will be there, so the 6-month wait for the organic ranking is entirely justified.
And the feedback loop works in reverse too. You analyze your organic SEO data to see which pages naturally keep people engaged the longest. Then you use those high-performing, high-trust pages as the landing destinations for your targeted paid campaigns.
That makes perfect sense.
You constantly use PPC to fill the keyword gaps where your SEO hasn't ranked yet. And as your organic presence grows, you dial down the ad spend and deploy that budget to conquer new territory.
So for the listener who is tracking with all of this, they understand the house versus the hotel. They've grasped the KPI math. They know AI is forcing a shift to structured data, and they know they need an integrated strategy that shares data.
Yeah.
Tomorrow morning, they decide it's time to hire a marketing agency to execute this. The guide lays out a very specific checklist for vetting partners. And based on what we've learned, I imagine contract structure is the first place you can step on a landmine.
Oh, for sure.
Because if SEO is a slow 6-month build, an agency demanding an ironclad 12-month lock-in on day one feels like a massive trap.
It is a significant risk for a first-time partnership. You are committing budget before seeing how they even operate. The guide suggests that a 3-month trial period is the absolute sweet spot for a new agency relationship.
That feels reasonable.
Yeah, it gives them enough runway to fix technical errors and show initial momentum, but it protects you from being tethered to a failing strategy. A month-to-month contract offers the most flexibility, but be aware that some elite agencies hesitate to front-load the heavy labor of an SEO build if the client can just cancel in 30 days.
True. And if data sharing between SEO and PPC is the core strategy, I have to assume that an agency keeping your analytics under lock and key is an immediate deal breaker.
It is the ultimate red flag. The guide specifically warns against agencies that refuse to grant you administrative access to your own Google Analytics or Google Ads accounts.
They just won't let you see it.
Right. They will often send you a polished PDF report, but won't let you see the raw data. They basically hold your historical data hostage so that if you decide to leave, you have to start from scratch. You must insist on owning your data.
Another red flag the guide mentions is vague reporting. If they can't clearly explain the strategy, or if they bury you in vanity metrics like impressions without tying that back to actual revenue or leads, you're being taken for a ride.
Definitely.
So what does a green light look like? Like, what proves an agency is legitimate?
Collaborative communication during the pitch is a great indicator. Are they asking deep, probing questions about your specific business margins, your operational capacity, and your sales process? Or are they just talking at you, pitching a generic bronze, silver, and gold package?
Yeah, that makes sense.
You also want to look for proven local case studies.
Right, because ranking a national software company is entirely different than ranking a local roofer in a crowded city market.
Exactly. You need to see how they have navigated competition in your specific region. And finally, given the realities of 2026, an agency's pitch must actively account for artificial intelligence.
They can't just ignore it.
Right. If they aren't talking about answer engine optimization, structured data, and how to adapt your content for AI overviews, they are operating on an outdated playbook.
So what does this all mean?
Yeah.
It means you, the listener, now have the blueprint. You don't have to be intimidated by the technical jargon of marketing agencies.
Not at all.
You know that you need to demand data ownership. You know to look for an integrated strategy where paid ads inform organic growth. You know the exact questions to ask to hold an agency accountable to your actual bottom line.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, modern digital marketing is really about managing information and trust simultaneously.
Yeah.
SEO is the mechanism for slowly building unshakable trust. PPC is the tool for managing the immediate flow of visibility and information. And artificial intelligence is the new, incredibly powerful filter through which all of that information must eventually pass.
It is a completely new era of search. And as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with one final, slightly provocative thought to ponder.
Ooh, I like those.
We talked about how AI search engines are getting so proficient that they can flawlessly answer a consumer's specific question directly on the search page, completely eliminating the need for a user to click an external link.
Right, the zero-click search.
Exactly. If that technology continues its current trajectory, and the AI becomes the ultimate all-knowing concierge for every consumer need, will the concept of a traditional website as a destination eventually become obsolete?
Wow.
And if the destination isn't your website anymore, how will your business ensure the AI algorithms know who you are, what you offer, and why they should recommend you?
That is the absolute frontier every business is going to have to navigate.
It really is. Think back to our two restaurants on that Friday night, the guy with the megaphone and the quiet line of locals. The fundamental game of human psychology hasn't changed. You still need both immediate attention and long-term trust to survive.
But the street they are standing on.
Exactly. That street is now being paved and directed by artificial intelligence. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the source material. Keep questioning, keep learning, and we will catch you next time.
New from the Austin Code Monkey Underground Lab, the Austin Code Monkey AI Review Response Generator. Our SEO chimp got tired of writing review replies, so we built AI. Utilize it for your business because nobody opens their laptop excited to reply to Google, Yelp, Facebook, and TripAdvisor reviews. Visit Austin Code Monkey for more details at austincodemonkey.com.
Austin Code Monkey delivers expert web design and SEO services for businesses that want more calls, more leads, and more jobs. Our SEO strategies ensure your online presence keeps growing and bringing in results. For more information, call 737-932-7532 or visit our website at austincodemonkey.com.
Code Monkey, working all night. SEO wizard making rankings take flight. From the Texas heat to the neon glow, you're the code swinging king of the SEO show.